It's a Humpty Dump Wednesday. Humpty Dump Wednesday. Humpty Dump. Is it over? Yes, it's over. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday night, the Humpty Dump edition of The Dump. I am Scott, and tonight we have some great panelists with us. We have the one and only Tom from a little channel called Midnight's Edge, Midnight's Edge After Dark, Midnight's Edge Radio, Tom Terrific, and guyswithglassesrule.com. Hi, Tom.
Glasses Rule? That's a new one.
Yeah, Guys with Glasses Rule.
Guys with Glasses Rule.
Yes, that's what I went with. I couldn't think of shit. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm starting off on fire tonight, my friend. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. How are you, though, Tom?
Can I go?
You can go.
I can leave.
You can leave anytime you want. I will find you.
All right.
I'm counting the minutes you told me you're giving me. You know we're live right now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just playing.
And also,
of course, I'm happy to be here for once on The Dump. The Dump.
On time. Yay. Thank you for being here, Tom. You're always welcome to come, and I'm glad I dragged you. Actually, you showed up. I didn't think you were coming tonight, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay,
No
great stuff. Yes. I don't know how far behind you guys I am, so I'm going to say one. When I say one, you say two. Ready? One.
Two.
Okay, I'm a little behind you guys. I'm a little behind. That's fine. Everything's going to be okay, everybody. Next to Tom is Makini90, the artist of the fourth wave, and a mod among mods. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Of course. What are you working on right now?
I just finished one time lapse, and I'm gonna start on another. I'm posting that tomorrow, and then I'm ready. I'm just prepping up for Sunday when I get back to streaming again.
Okay, good, man. And when does season 2 start? I just
Sunday,
love that
November 8th.
Sunday, November 8th,
8th.
everyone. Please make sure to subscribe to Makini90 and support the fourth wave. Another member, actually, I think, Nick, are you guys fourth wave or fifth wave? I don't know what Steven does.
People have been touting out that that my brother and me are the founders of the fifth wave.
Okay.
Apparently.
Well, that's something to be honored. Honored. So we have.
So does that make me the founder of the -12 wave? I don't understand.
Yeah, you're deep. You are deep. You're OG -1 wave, I believe.
Back in my day, we didn't have this fancy 4K stuff. We had regular 720p, and we were happy to have it.
When it pixelated, we were just grateful we could see color.
We knew it was working.
We knew that when dial-up started, the time was gonna be rocking. And if Mom picked up the phone, my porn froze.
And there goes your night.
Yes, ruined it. Mom!
I was going to say something else, but night seemed much more proper.
You do not have to be proper here. But I am happy to have one half of the brothers from down under, Nick McCain.
Yep, Sam's just too fraught at the moment. I think last night did a number on him.
What was last night?
Oh, election and whatnot.
I swear,
this morning.
This morning. I've never seen so many foreigners interested in an election before this one, and that's probably the most I can say.
Oh yeah, we're all looking over there.
Like, why?
Well, we're going to get into that.
Is this a circus for you all?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
For entertainment.
I've said this multiple times. If America sneezes, the rest of the world catches the cold.
Yeah.
So we can't be far behind.
Yeah, I guess not. And Jayne, please say your hey guys, so everybody is happy in the chat.
Hey guys. I am so happy to be here tonight. And I'm happy to see you all in the chat.
Thank you, Katarina. Yes, I am a dork. All right, and who do we have in the
I
chat
think I
tonight,
just
my friend?
evacuated.
All right, we start with the great Tina Bojan, and she is, as always, saying, "Good evening, friends. See you all soon." And right behind her, our friend from Scotland, the Time Prophet. See you soon. Then we got Jayne and Nick and myself, because I don't have a lot of people that love us. And then who else? We got Who Knew, one of my great channel members. So is Tina. If you like to support the channel, go right ahead and become a channel member. Super chats or stickers are always welcome. Darren, like my father before me, one of my Song of Ice and Fire friends. Thank you for being here, my man. Makini90, as always, modding while he's on panel, because he just does that. He's good like that.
Hey, Karen.
Karen Prime.
Somebody's got to.
Someone's got to, because I can't. Karen Prime, good evening, peeps. I just learned, I want to say it was in 6 minutes, the world record for peeps was 161 eaten in 6 minutes. Peeps. Yeah, at work the other day, I was quizzing people on every single
I was waiting
professional
for you to say that I ate that many at work the other day. And then
You know what? For a chubby kid who loves marshmallows, I'm not a fan of peeps. Yeah, it's like candy corn. I'm going to start the Easter thing. Instead of Halloween with candy corn, I'm going to start the Easter debate. Peeps suck.
Peeps are good.
I don't like
You
peeps.
just can't eat all of them at once, but they are good.
I think I've
What do
only
you get in a
had them
pack,
once.
too? You've only had them once?
Yeah, I think we don't get a whole lot of foreign sweets down here. We have to
Foreign?
look in the internet. Well, yeah, foreign to me.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to look into the international section or like specialist shops and whatnot. And I'm pretty sure I've tried them at least once, and yeah, it wasn't
I'm
really
sure
a fan.
probably because you guys have like really good laws, avoiding toxic waste coming into your country. That's probably
Aha. See?
You know what? I have a crazy question for you, man. In Australia, when you go to the grocery store or the market, whatever you want to call it, when you're going down the aisles, do you have like an aisle that has like, Spanish food, kosher food? Do you have American food?
Well, the supermarket that I go to, we have an international section, and in that
And we're in
international, in the international section, we have like a Mexican section, a Japanese section, a Chinese section, and it's not very large, but the section in general, but yeah.
Wow, you just blew my mind, man.
I
Blew
wonder what's in
my
it, though.
mind.
Sorry.
What's representative of American food for you guys?
Oh,
like
Sugar,
burgers and
grease.
pizza and sugar.
I think
Sugar?
the most I've seen are sort of found from other countries as well. Like Dr. Pepper or what's the other one?
Can you say that again, Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, Dr. Pepper.
Oh man, that's a good way of saying it. I'm going to say it like that from now on.
Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, and we also have Mexican cola.
I've never
I
tried
don't know
that.
what that is.
Yeah, it's actually really nice.
Oh, Mexican cola, like
Yeah.
different, like what's the name of that company? Yes, I've had it too. Very like sugary flavors. They're like guava and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, those are pretty good. Before I became a type 2 diabetic, I used to like those. Let's just finish off with the chat. Kai MFS, one of the great authors of the Fandom Menace, and I will be ordering your book tomorrow, Kai. You can hold me to that. Please, guys, check out Kai's. Most likely, go to his Twitter, and it'll have a link to his website. And you could buy his book off of Amazon. I've just heard good reviews about it. Culture Casino swears that it's going to be a great series. So please, guys, please check him out. We got to support one another. And talking about another writer, we got the Script Doctor, who's in the chat and not in the panel.
Put him on the panel.
Where are you? Yeah, where is he? He's like my Canadian conscience.
He's too good for us.
He is. He is. He's just blowing up. Oh, I was on Comics Division last night. Look at me. Well, guess what? I know him too. Let's move on. Trey Courtney.
Yeah. Scott's all like, yeah, I've been in the chat.
I sent him pictures of myself.
Oh my!
He even signed the order that said I had to stay 100 meters away from him.
I was gonna say, are you the guy that everybody's talking about that's sending their dick pics to everybody?
Look, you would know if it was me because I would make sure the next picture was me with like a thumbs up. Huh? This is a great stream. All right, Shellback, TJC in the house. All right.
Well, I just wanted to show you this, Scott, if you want to share it. Peeps are actually art now.
What?
Yeah. I saw this last year. Peeps are now
Oh, that's
art.
weird.
Yes.
That is weird.
There's more of them, but like that's
let's see more of them. I want to see
Americans.
Oh, okay.
Let me see here.
Another time, I guess. If you can find some peep art, I want to see it.
I thought there was more.
Not peep show, peep art though.
Let me see here. I can find
So-
some pictures.
Read into art.
While you're looking, is
Here we
somebody
go.
in here? Oh, Script Doctor. Shit. Hello.
We meet again,
Hello.
Doctor.
Hey.
Bikini Night.
Hello.
Bikini Night is talking shit about you, man.
That's cool.
Wait, what?
Yes.
No,
and I was like,
wasn't.
Mad
stop.
shit.
Script's my boy. And he's like, screw that Canadian. I was like, what?
It's not even a real country anyway.
No, I wasn't, Scott. Stop putting words in my mouth. I
I
never
don't know
said
what you're
anything.
We at least have an international section in our grocery stores in other countries
Canada is America light.
with
Canada.
Canadian
I have-
bacon and beer that has kick.
I have
Diet USA.
Maple
I
syrup.
have Canadians on my stream, Scott. I don't know
Yes.
what you're talking
You know what
about.
you should tell them? Canadians are like, I don't know, a studio apartment above the penthouse.
Whatever. Canada's awesome because they
Boy,
play
I do
games
love
like
Canada.
I just
Rick
We're
Moranis,
up already.
Bill
We're
Murray,
bigger than
or
you.
Dan Aykroyd. I mean, not Bill Murray.
Not
and
Dan.
Oh, you're
Doctor.
bigger than us. Oh,
Johnny
you're big.
Candy.
You are.
Canada has clean air.
Yeah,
And I bet they
They
don't
have
have
hair?
peep art.
Do you have peep
probably have
art?
some peep art too. Yeah, you know what
Hint,
peeps are.
Scott.
Okay, peep art coming. Sorry, I got so excited that Script was here. Script, I do have a question for you after the peep art. Oh my God, that
Yeah.
dragon looks dope.
Like I was
Yeah.
saying, like I'm not kidding when people do
Ooh.
peep art. I'm
Isn't
not
Toxic
joking.
Manflu's icon peep art technically?
Is that Mother Teresa and Donald Trump down there? But it's right above. You kind of scrolled past it. Is that Mother Teresa?
It's what's her face
Or Whistler's mom?
Yeah,
No, that's girl with the pearl earring.
yeah, that's it.
You know, the
Wow.
Scarlett Johansson film.
Mm.
This is so weird. It's like bizarre.
That is
Oh,
amazing.
goodness.
Oh my God, it's like
Wow.
Andy Warhol.
I know, isn't it crazy?
It is crazy.
Starry
That is
Night
not
there.
peep art. That is not peep art.
They
Maybe
squished
they
the
melted
peeps.
it down.
Must have.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, they must have.
There you go. I told you, Scott.
I could make them blow up.
Okay.
You know, can I tell you something? Last night, I did something I've never done before, and it's weird that I even did it.
You finally
Yesterday-
had sex for the first time? Congratulations, Scott. Awesome. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the
I
club.
will have.
Welcome
I will
to
have
the
sex. I will have sex when my
We're proud
wife's
of you.
boyfriend says I can. Okay,
Not be-
but no, this is my question. So, has anybody ever left something on the stove and totally forgot it was on the stove?
Yep.
You know, maybe boiled eggs for, you know, usually you go 4 minutes and about 45 to 50 minutes later, you literally hear popping. I thought there was gunfire. I was laying in bed and I was falling asleep, and I hear pop, pop, pop. And I'm like, what the frig is that? And then I thought I imagined it. So I was like, okay, it must just be something. And then all of a sudden I hear ta 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 ta. And I had like 8 eggs in there. And I'm like,
You thought the Civil War
hell?
started.
God. I ran
Oh
in
my
there. I have a picture. I'm going to get the picture at some point. I'll put it on Twitter.
It's like the riders have made it to my house.
Crap out of
Oh
boiled
my
egg.
god.
Yes. Yes.
I'm only guilty of burning pasta or rice.
Yeah, pasta.
Yeah,
I'd
the
say
most I've ever
you
done is
know it from the
accidentally like
smell.
walked away from the meat too long or something and burned some ground hamburger, like maybe a grilled cheese. I can't say I've ever boiled eggs to death.
I'd be guilty of accidentally warming a burrito up while the aluminum was still in there. So I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's a mistake. What I did was
Yeah.
after I took it off the stove and put it under some water, it boiled like a cauldron for at least 10 seconds. I mean, literally, like steam and bubbling over. I was scared. I went into my freezer, grabbed a thing of ice and dumped it in there because I didn't know if they were
You don't
gonna
want to do that.
Oh my
Dumbass.
god.
I was
Anytime
God.
I love
You
you,
start with
Scott,
hot
but
water.
you're lucky you're still alive.
I know, I was like,
my father
we're
used to
so
tell me,
lucky you're still here with us.
"Hmm."
That would have been
I have so many stories that
embarrassing.
people be like, you make shit up. That's why I don't tell my stories because I don't make them up.
We could have read about that in the newspaper. Like that's what
Oh my
happened to
God.
Scott.
Still,
Yeah.
local man
You would've thought- you would've
dies in a horrible microwave accident or something. I'm
Oh
like,
no, it wouldn't
oh,
even
no,
been that.
Scott.
You're not from Florida.
Boiled
This
egg.
is real normal behavior for someone like you.
Yeah. No, this would have been Virginia Hotel. Virginia Hotel burns to the ground. Moron leaves eggs on too long.
Yeah, but it'd probably start with Florida man in Virginia burns hotel to the ground for leaving the boiled eggs too long.
Exactly.
You know what? If I could leave Connecticut out of it, I will then. So Florida, thanks for taking the blame. I'll be on Lorena Creel's stream. Lorena Creel would have me as an article on her stream, making fun of me. That's how bad it would be.
No, we have an actual Florida man in our
what I'm saying.
stream right now. We have an
Oh, who's the Florida man?
you. It's just
Oh.
you're in Virginia. We'll just call you.
Oh yeah, we'll just say I'm south enough, I guess. Anything south of New Jersey is the South to me. So before we get into our topics, because this is going on longer than I expected, I have a question for Script. Do you get offended when Americans call themselves Americans?
No, why?
Okay. Or we call our country America.
Isn't it?
Oh, I got attacked on Twitter. I think it was a Canadian because I'm pretty sure there was like an A in there, and it wasn't like
it wasn't the
sounding
letter.
like somebody. Yeah, kind of. No, I just felt it. I felt it in the way the person wrote it. It didn't feel Mexican to me. But the person's like, Americans aren't the only Americans. Or no, I'm sorry. Americans aren't the only people from America. And I'm like,
I don't even know what that means.
Huh?
I mean, there's
Like-
South America. You can be from
no,
there.
what they meant is you're from North America. Like, it made no freaking sense.
On the continental level, yeah, but like,
Yes,
Well,
but
they know the name of our country. Like it's just
I mean,
shorthand.
it's
not
the
like-
United States of America. That's what it is. I mean,
it's
Right.
America.
And I'm just wondering, is that like a Canadian jealousy thing, or is this just a whack job on Twitter?
that's more of a whack job on Twitter.
Yeah, it's a
A lot of
latter.
Canadians
It's Twitter,
actually,
says it all.
a lot
It's
of the
the
Canadians,
latter,
especially in
not
the
the former.
snobbier areas of the provinces from east to west, they do not like to associate themselves with Americans. They constantly think they're superior to them. I'm like, listen, we all have our flaws, man.
Are
Like
they
I've been
French?
to. A lot of them are. Some of them are from BC. You got a few that are on the border. There's a nice portion of them in southern Ontario and some very northern Ontarians. They're all over the place. I think the maritime provinces don't really care. They're too worried about their fishing, and they're large properties with very low rent and maintenance and supplies.
Yeah, they don't care
I
about
wanna-
America. They have better things to do.
Yeah.
Well, Americans have something to do. We have to wait to find out who's our president. Now, this
Yeah,
is,
December, eh?
yeah, eh? This is not going to be an attack on people. You caught that? This is not going to be an attack on either side. I want to ask the question: does anybody remember a counting process of votes like this before, other than the very small moment in Florida history? When have we had a time where Florida is actually the gold standard of voting right now? and the rest of the country.
I gotta say this much, and I can't get too much into this rabbit hole,
Mm-hmm.
but we have to remember we're in a place right now where we've never had this many mail-in votes,
Right.
where we've had the polls open differently, and I mean,
And so many things go wrong during the day.
Well, it's just a matter of just if you take away any normal bullshit that goes on during an election, add in all the extra bullshit that we have right now going on because of the coup and Antifa and even some of the Proud Boys bullshit. Everything you want to talk about in there doesn't fucking matter. It's all a big melting pot of bullshit in the end. And I think the fact that we're at this deadlock tie basically on every fucking thing shows just how divisive the country is right now.
Yes.
And then, of course, that has very little to do with the other, shenanigans you're going to get to. But go ahead, Jayne.
Another thing, too, is that you have to remember, leading up to this election, a lot of polling places were closed. And so that left very few places to receive this incredibly high turnout and then have those votes counted. So a lot of things were just done that are making it take longer, and also the higher turnout and all the new votes that are making it, take a lot longer than normal.
Sorry, Jayne. Just wondering, in America, do you when on voting days, do you vote at things like schools, churches?
Yes.
And
yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes, you have. So where you live, depending on what area of your hometown you live in, you will have a designated place to go. Usually when you go there, you have to show them your license, at least where I'm from, show them your license. They cross you out, you go into the booth, you flip a couple switches, and you're done. Even my state, people I talked to went in, they didn't check licenses. They didn't if they checked your license, they didn't match up your face because you had a covering on and glasses and this and that. They didn't even make sure you were that person. It was just a fiasco left and right. Now the state I'm in, it didn't matter. Connecticut is always a blue state. It has been a blue state for as long as I can remember. So it really didn't affect this election, but there are states where, 80% of the tally was supposedly in. Trump was up 70%, and then within an hour it flipped. So there was a lot of confusion.
Well, I will interject one thing as a possibility,
please
and again, this is just a plausibility. There could have been just when they're putting in all these numbers, all these ones that were counted from all the mail-in votes, they probably just put all the numbers in at once. And it was probably the last person at the end of the night, and it was just these tally numbers that they're putting in. So, I mean, again, it may look like something that's nefarious, but that's not to speak for some of the other stuff that's being found. I'm just putting that out there as, somebody who does data stuff. When you put in a bunch of stuff, you don't sit there and, they probably just added all those in at the end of the night. Now, would it have been better to put those in there right away? Yes. It would have been less. It would have been less weird looking if this is the case. Again, I stress if this is the case. But there's also again, I know there's some shenanigans that people have claimed to have witnessed, and there's some videos and other things going on. So I can't speak to only what I know. But I mean, again, to go off what we've said, that's possibility why all of a sudden there was this interjection of a bunch of votes. Did anybody watch the numbers on Trump go up at all or down? I mean, that's the other question, I guess.
I mostly saw Trump go down.
Well, here's the question.
I want to see him going down, but I mean,
a lot of that too has to do with the fact that you had ballots coming in from. Well, part of the problem is that they should have had the ballots being counted as they were coming in instead of waiting until the day of to count them. I think that was a big issue.
I thought it was legally required that mail-in ballots have to be counted first before election day.
Well, and I'm thinking they were, and that's my point, Script.
They changed everything.
And that's what I'm saying.
Not in every
they did
state.
It, but they may not have put it in until the last minute was what I was getting at.
Not in every state, though. Some states they were not allowed to until the day of, until they did it last.
Right. But look at Pennsylvania. And I don't know if this is a report I heard. In Pennsylvania, they are allowing mail-in ballots to still come in as of November 6th, even if they're not stamped. If they're not stamped.
I did a little what do you call it?
Well, they may have drop-off locations.
But
yeah.
Do they have drop-off locations?
Yes, I believe so, but I can't verify that.
And this is
All I
all
can
according
say
to
is this.
their law. So they're not
Right.
like that's the other thing. People are acting
But
like
some of the
all this
laws
is
didn't
just
seem like
happening
they were being
randomly.
held. Well,
I'm
what
just saying, like
yes,
the 3-day thing is something that state allowed in their law. So people are acting shocked at the states enforcing the laws that they created ahead of this election. People knew what the laws were in advance. They should have done something. If you didn't want the votes coming after the day of,
right.
then they should have fought that 3-day allowance before election day.
And I agree with you. I think people outside of the state of Pennsylvania are shocked because it just seems weird to me that
I read
election.
that the
It is
3-day
weird.
allowance still had
A
the
stunning lack of foresight.
Well, it's not only that.
Yes.
I read that the 3-day allowance was only for votes that had the postmark for the 3rd. If
That's
they didn't
what
have
I
a
thought.
postmark for the
Yeah.
3rd, they couldn't be administered because they weren't done prior. They'd have to be the 3rd or anything
And
above
I've heard
that to be counted for days after the vote, the actual election day.
Script. I've been hearing conflicting reports on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If someone does know, let me know.
And I hate being like, the person to say like this, that, or the other, because it's going to sound like I'm making up excuses, but it could very well be that there was a buttload that were still coming through that had never got a chance to be postmarked yet.
Right.
And they may have added a day or two to allow those to come through. But now whether the question is not whether any more were added to that after the fact.
Right.
But again, as long as the votes are being counted properly, I guess I don't see a problem with it. That's my
Same here.
thing.
Yeah, I just wanted to be fair, Tom. That's it.
And they do have a deadline. They have a deadline for when they have to certify. So
Right.
as long as it's
Right.
a vote from a person who's lawfully able to vote, a lot of those votes are going to be counted anyway, even if they contest them, because our laws tend to favor counting a vote rather than not, if it was
Yes.
cast by someone who's qualified to
Yes.
vote.
Definitely. And I mean, they do have the option of having a recount. They
Mhm.
have that option
we're
in
gonna.
most states.
I guarantee you, we're going to at least get a recount in 1 or 2 states.
Oh,
I think
yes.
it's
We had
gonna
them last
drag out.
time.
Minnesota,
Yeah.
or I'm sorry, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. What I found weird was like Georgia. Georgia was one of the first ones to close, and I don't even know if it's been called yet. Has it been called?
Nope.
From what I saw,
Okay.
they still had outstanding votes from Fulton County.
Hit
So
mute if you're
Georgia's
joking.
way too close to call right now, according to the map I'm looking at, because there's very
Right.
slim margin there.
And there were
Yeah,
like
it's narrowed down over the last few hours.
100,000 or more votes they're still waiting on in some of the urban areas. And
that's
they
about
think
the
those will
difference,
go to Biden.
Yeah.
They won't all go to Biden. I mean, there
Not
are
all.
going to be people, right? So if
But I'm talking just percentage wise, if they're talking primarily those urban sort of Atlanta areas,
yes,
what do we
Yes.
think realistically is going to happen?
it depends on what county. Some of those counties right outside of Atlanta, like northern sections of the county, are suburban, mostly working class, and the southern part, or closer to Atlanta, of the
Mhm.
same county is more urban. So it could be divided. You never know, and that's why I truly believe every vote counts. And if it takes a little longer to make sure this is a legit, I do not want to go another freaking 4 years where everyone is still arguing about the goddamn election.
I think that's too late.
That's inevitable at this point.
Well,
Too late.
And the
Too
problem
late.
was, and I brought this up in a private conversation, and I hate getting into it, but I said, look, I don't see the right side of things throwing a tantrum and rioting and shit like that, or, getting all militant as some people claim if Biden wins. I see them grumbling under their breath for the next 4 years, just like, during the Obama administration.
Yes.
As long as certain factors are there, and I'll get into that in a moment. I said, but at the same time, if Trump wins, I can't guarantee that the left side ain't going to continue to do what they have been doing, only worse.
Correct.
And then the person I talked to said, oh, no, I don't think that'll happen, blah, blah, blah. But they were adamant that the other side will, turn into this militaristic, and it's going to be this big civil war, because if Biden wins, they're going to freak out and try to take back the White House or whatever, or keep the White House,
Right.
however you want to put it. And I said, oh, no, they won't do that unless Trump comes out and says something stupid, kind of like he did last night. And I hate saying this, that was one of the dumbest fucking things he could have ever done. He should have just come out and said, look, we don't know what's going on right now. We're confident we're going to win this thing. We won't know until tomorrow. Stay patient, folks. We're
Right.
on this thing, and said nothing else. If
He has his reasons.
I understand that.
I don't agree
but
with it. I don't agree with
it was the best thing to do, because because he did exactly what they said he was going to do. He might as well have just grabbed the script from the left and said it verbatim, because that's exactly what he did, is exactly what they were waiting for. And it's like, oh my God, because now they're just going to use this as he's being a dictator. He's not going to leave, just like we said he's not going to leave no matter what, and all this crap. And again, I don't want to get into this trenches because not going to. I can't really pick a side or say anything, but that to me was dumb. It's like you should have just stayed quiet and just said, look, we won't
I think
know
he wanted
tomorrow.
to point out the hypocrisy.
I know he did, because he's Trump. Because he can't shut his mouth about that kind of stuff.
Can't.
I get it. But
when like only a certain amount, like Virginia. Okay, I know Virginia was going to go Democrat this year, most likely. Since 2001, it's been Democrat. But like I think it was like 75% of the votes in to 80%. He was up 70% to 30%, and they called it for Joe Biden. Like, okay, so I guess you're projecting. You're projecting. I understand that you're looking at different counties, and these counties are going to be predominantly Democrat. I understand that, but like that just causes one side to think shenanigans are happening. Because if people
supposed to be smarter than that.
Well, yes, he is, but I think sometimes he is, and he does things to rile people up for a reason, and we won't realize it till down the road. There's been many times he's done something where I'm like, what an effing moron. But like 3 months later, I understood why he did it. I still didn't agree to why he did it, but I understood why. Real quick, I just want to say Joanan has the best chat of the night. The Dems just conceded the election 2016. I thought that, I'm sorry, I found that funny. So let me ask a question. How long will this be? Will the courts get involved? How long will this be?
I bet this will go up till January 20th, 2021.
Right. Okay.
And it may even go past that.
And last question. Okay, I'll go through everyone. I want an honest opinion. Will Joe Biden, if he wins, still be the president in 4 years?
No.
I don't know. Think
it's on him.
I don't know.
I don't think he'll last a year.
I don't think so at all. There has been too many moments where he has conceded that it is a Biden-Harris administration, and when people laughed, he was like, "I'm not kidding." And there's been moments. I mean, granted, it was a mistake, but people introduce her as your next president. I mean, like, I just think people realize Joe. They hate Trump so much that they want to vote him in so somebody else can run.
Both of these guys are ancient. I mean, the vice presidents are there for a reason. So if he is no longer able to do it, then that's what the vice president is there for. I know people are like, oh, she's going to become the president like in a year. That'll depend on his health and, whatnot.
It'll depend on his health.
To go back to another point, though, I do think there will be protests probably. I don't think the right is going to be like rioting and looting, but I do think there will be protests, just like we saw during the Obama administration.
Right. Hail Demogeny. What's up, my brother? When you coming on next? Let me know. Okay, so I don't want to talk about it too much more. I think this is a John Talks video here, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so Nick found this for us. This is just one of the and I can't say it's what is the word I'm looking for, Tom?
Authentic?
Yeah, not authentic. What's the opposite? I can't confirm it. Yeah, okay, let's put it that way. I can't confirm it's authentic. Okay, I can't say that this is an actual voting shenanigan. I'll just leave. I like the word shenanigan tonight. So, Nick, if you can hit the blow it up, the actual video, and then hit play.
Yeah, sure. Just so everyone knows, this may not be the one that I'm looking for, but I think it might actually cover it anyway.
Okay.
Shall I include the sound as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely include the sound. I don't think John will hit me for a copyright strike.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Go right ahead, buddy. I just want to see what it is. I haven't seen it yet.
Can we all hear it?
Mm-hmm.
I can't. That's another thing. Look at them. They're not supposed to block up the counting area. Like, you should be able to see that. Why are they blocking it up? Is there volume?
I can't hear a damn thing.
I don't hear anything.
Is there supposed to be commentary?
Hover over your speaker and see if there's volume on. Okay. So when you shared it, did you click share audio too?
No, I don't think I did.
It's okay. It's okay, buddy. We're going to remove it anyways because John likes to hit me with copyright strikes. He's vicious. He's so vicious. So, but that just goes to show you, why cover up the windows to where you're voting? Like, people's eyes are not going to change the count. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to see people's names. They're not going to see anything like that. So why are you covering it up? It's just those little things that they're probably doing for a reason that just looks so shady.
I mean, they could, I guess, not want people taking pictures and flashing. I don't know.
You can't have a camera in there. That's the voting area.
Yeah, people outside of it. I mean,
no. That whole area is a voting area. That bubble, that room with the windows is the counting area, the control area.
Why would there be voters out there though after voting is over?
Again, makes no sense to me. But I have seen that video. I have seen on multiple news stations, and they're all talking about, and both, whoever, sides with Trump or Biden, they're both saying they're both getting screwed because of that, which is they probably had a reason.
I mean, they all have a right to have their observers present.
Right.
So
I don't know. I think it's time to get off the election. Let us go somewhere else in the world. We've all been dealing with this election way too much. I think we need to focus on something a little bit better, something we all care about, something I can't see the stream anymore. So I gotta wait.
Hear you at least.
Hopefully it'll load. Oh, you can't hear me. Oh,
yes,
awesome.
we can.
I was a little worried there. I was going to start saying some crazy shit. Do you guys see the article?
No.
No, not yet.
No.
Oh, now it popped up. Okay. Gee. So, from Bounding into Comics, the great John F. Trent, DC Comics reveals its first look at new non-binary Flash and Justice League character, plus a gender-flip teen Justice member. Justice member. Anybody want to say something from that title?
I don't see
It's a lot to imagine.
I think that was perfect.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Loading.
I am having some issues. I might lose all you. So if I just drop out, let me know.
I'm sure we'll be able to find a way.
Is it still loading?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Script Doctor, somebody be willing to share this? I'll put it in the private chat and we'll just keep talking. Hold on one second. I'm going to put this in the private chat. Can someone share this? I hate my goddamn computer. So all donations go to buying Scott new technology. I'm actually going to be buying my computer or building my computer in less than a month. So thank you to anybody who has sent a super chat, sent a sticker, channel members. I am so appreciative of all you guys. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Jayne, for sharing that. Do you mind reading it with your smooth, silky voice? Was that weird? I'm sorry. Jayne? You're muted.
You're muted.
She's muted.
You're still muted, Jayne.
Okay.
There you are. Okay.
Okay.
I thought this
Jayne?
smooth, silky voice got me in trouble. Sorry. Okay, good.
DC
Good. Do you
Comics
mind-
revealed a first look at their upcoming new non-binary Flash character called Jess Chambers, aka Kid Quick. As reported by Screen Rant, the character is non-binary and uses they/them pronouns. Screen Rant's Liam McGuire writes, the character is gender fluid, non-binary, and uses they/them pronouns. This is Kid Quick. Thoughts?
Can someone tell me again what non-binary is?
It means you don't identify as either a man or a woman.
Okay,
To put it
that's
simply.
what everybody says it. All right.
Or as the wokies like to put it, you're assigned gender at birth.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was assigned because my penis was there. Okay, whatever.
Okay.
All right.
Well, they
Fine.
say
So,
that's
It's all very
different from gender.
confusing.
well, let me ask Jayne, or anybody actually, what's the difference between non-binary and non-binary gender fluid?
No idea.
Is it like
they're
you slip
roughly the
in and
same.
out
Maybe
of
we
them?
go from between gender fluid and non-binary. I don't know.
Okay. Becky
Gender
Brown.
fluid used to be the thing we'd have to clean up after sex, but now it's something completely different.
Boom. Boom.
Script doctor with a zinger. All right. Becky Browning asks, at Midnight's Edge After Dark, is it Tom's dancing that will brighten up everyone's mood?
Maybe. It might.
Tom?
That
I
would be
can't
fun.
guarantee it, but it
Do we
You
have
were painting
video
today,
of
right?
dance?
Were you dancing while you painted?
No.
Oh.
Sorry.
And Jayne, another monster wants to know, are you monetized yet?
I am not monetized yet. My
What do you
videos are
need?
so short, it takes forever.
Oh, so you need watch hours, right?
Yeah, I need watch hours.
Guys, after this stream, go to Jayne's page, go to videos, and hit play all, and just walk away. That's what I'm going to do today. Thanks, everybody. What do you think about this, Jayne? This character?
I think this is ridiculous. This is the new Warriors thing all over again.
Mhm.
I don't know why they choose to do this and then paint the characters black, but here we are.
Of course, though, Jayne. I mean, I have to say
This
something.
is your diversity all in one. It's all of the labels,
Yes,
all in one character. It's like we covered
you
all
have,
our
you have taught me a lot about the stereotypes that woke Hollywood actually puts on black characters.
And
I
this
did
one
not
is
realize.
it's either a feminine man or a masculine woman, and they just put it together. But
Right. Or a
And
deadbeat
that's all we
man.
get about this character. We don't know anything about their origin, what they want, why they choose to do what they're doing.
Well, it's not important, is it?
it's
All
not,
that matters
paramount,
is their
actually.
gender, sexuality, and race.
that's it.
Yep, that's it.
No, let's
There's
That's
move
all they
on.
want us to know. Nothing to
Yeah.
pick apart. They just essentially putting this person up on a one big figurative stage and expecting us all to clap.
Yes.
Kid Quick
I'm not a
will
fan of the
first
circus.
appear, in the 8-page story as part of DC's Very Merry Multiverse by
I'm sorry.
Ivan
Excuse me.
Cohen.
8 pages. That's it.
8-page story.
Okay.
Is that
There's
it?
your representation. Yeah. The character will be part of Earth 11's Teen Justice team. And Kid Quick won't be the only Teen Justice character introduced in DC's Very Merry Multiverse. DC Comics and Cohen will introduce Aquagirl, aka Jacques Hyde, Supergirl, aka Laurel Kent, Robin, aka Talia Kane, a character named Donald Troy, and Clarianne the Witch Girl. Here's
Wait a
Aquagirl.
Is there precedence for Talia Kane? Wait a minute. That's Talia is the daughter of
Ra's al
Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's Ghul. Is there any history of her being Robin before?
No, this is the daughter of Kate Kane, Batwoman.
And who? Raja
Probably
Ghul,
the
or-
gender swap Talia.
That's so
Or maybe
weird.
not the gender swap Talia. Who knows?
Maybe we'll learn.
Who
I don't know.
Is
Um,
that woman a lesbian in this one, or is she a straight woman?
That's a good
Because that
question.
would be the first sexuality swap to go the other way.
Ooh, Nick.
Yeah.
Now I'm intrigued. Let's see.
I mean, I highly doubt it's maybe sperm donor.
Well, that's if Kate Kane was the one that shared her
Or
DNA for the
immaculate
child and
conception.
wasn't just like the friend that's taking on the role of a parent.
Hmm.
What is up with Aqua Girl? Is she like a fish looking? Like she looks like
Got like a
the
piranha face.
no, she looks like the mermaids from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
I'll take your
Yeah, a
word
little
for it.
bit.
Bullshit. She
It
looks like the
reminds me a
Greta
lot
the
of-
Gremlin from Gremlins 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's
And
that.
she
Oh my
reminds me a little bit of she reminds me a little bit of Aquagirl from Justice League Beyond. So that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, that's
Okay.
She's got leggings though, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's with
Tom,
that?
you're saying slap a little red lipstick on her, and it's
What a hunk.
fantastic. All right, let's read on and see how great this comic's going to be. This whole 8
Cohen.
pages.
Cohen described the team to Screen Rant. Teen Justice is a new super team on Earth 11, the world where there is a Justice Guild instead of a Justice League, and the heroes are gender-flipped versions of the heroes of the traditional DC Earth. And while a lot of E11's history is a fairly straightforward reflection of the mainstream DCU, things are different enough that Teen Justice may in fact be the first kid hero team in that world. So their mentors have no experience in how to deal with the dynamics of their sidekicks and proteges, setting out as their own independent team. So they have no guidance whatsoever.
Whatsoever. And they don't need guidance. They don't need that
Isn't this
older
basically
boomer
Young
class
Justice all
telling
over
them.
again?
Say that again?
Yeah.
Isn't this essentially Young Justice all over again, only without
I would say
Yeah.
this is like Young
adults?
Justice Teen Titans, but completely
obnoxious?
But we're fabulous.
Yes.
just
Yeah.
handled the wrong way. I think completely just
And then this looks like something James Cameron's like, hey, I want my fucking Star of Avatar back, please.
Yeah, what is that?
Clarion.
So the description reads that like she's supposed to be like a protege of Zatanna.
Dracula?
Zatanna.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, because it's Zatara, and I'm thinking, oh, Zatanna. Zatara.
Okay, so here's the relationship. The member of Team
Okay.
Justice includes Aquagirl, Supergirl, and Robin, who all only seem familiar. Aquagirl is the world's Aqua Lad. Supergirl and Robin are the children of Superwoman and Batwoman, respectively. More offbeat characters I doubt anyone would expect are Donald Troy. Titans fans know better than to ask who is. I don't know. Zatara's protege, Clarion, the Witch Girl, inspired by a Kirby creation given bigger life by Peter David and Grant Morrison. So you know we're in seriously weird territory. And the super fast Jess Chambers, aka Kid Quick, whose aunt is Jessie Quick, he explained.
Okay.
Yeah. As for the actual story, Cohen explained a New Year's celebration. I don't know. This is bad writing. Alien starfish, which are a beloved tradition for super team debuts, mind-controlled heroes fighting their sidekicks, and a super team origin story that has no need for any pre-existing knowledge of the multiverse or appearance by the Justice Guild, and a few unexpected gender flip cameos for old school DC diehards. Okay. This is Donald Troy.
Why is he wearing somewhat parachute pants?
Oh my God, it's MC Hammer.
Hammer man. Hammer.
Look at those
Hammer
shoes.
man. Hammer.
This is
Hammer.
gender flip
I
Donna
remember
Troy.
someone saying something about this one too.
Those-
Gender flip Donna Troy.
Go ahead, Nick.
I read something about this one too. Apparently, it's a vaguely sort of Middle Eastern design. Yeah, that.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think
Yeah, I can see that.
inspiration is coming from.
The line
He
work
kinda
on the
looks like
legs
he's-
don't work well for that.
Yeah,
No.
He looks like he's wearing the shoes that Lady Gaga wore in that. Did anybody see that video where she's wearing camouflage next to a truck holding a beer?
Insulting Midwesterners.
Yeah, pretty
Look
much
at
thinking
Kanye
that's what
West.
Americans dress like. You
She
know,
was
I'm
looking like a
just
mom trying to be cool in front of her kids.
Yes.
How do you do, fellow Midwesterner? How do you feel, rednecks?
There's Robin.
Oh, let's see, Robin.
Does she have Wonder Woman's lasso there?
No.
No, I think it's just her.
I actually like that design. I like the design. I mean, she does look a little weird. Like the face looks a little bratty, but
she's got the Sailor Moon sleeves there.
Yeah,
Kinda like
let's. I just want to know who's non-binary, who's what is what.
Kid Quick is. But the rest of them look fairly, I guess, normal.
Yeah.
Quote unquote
Supergirl.
normal.
Quote unquote, yeah.
Yeah. The Aqua Girl is a fish. And then you have this.
Okay, so very feminine. Go down. So he's very feminine.
Mm-hmm.
We keep scrolling down.
She's not
She
human.
looks like she's not human, of course, right?
Mhm.
Right. Doesn't look like a girl's body at all.
No.
I mean,
Got
she
very
looks like a
big feet as
preteen.
well.
She looks like a
Yeah.
preteen, yeah.
She looks like Chucky in the third picture, the right picture.
Yeah.
That looks like
Right.
Chucky. Okay. All right. Again, non-human.
Yeah.
Vampire avatar. I can't. I can't with Donald Troy.
I don't know what's supposed to be happening here.
I can't
him.
with quick.
And then Robin.
Again, not very feminine looking, but yet I still dig it a little bit.
It screams Antifa to me. That's
Antifa, really?
Yeah, I
Really?
don't know. It just something about
Like
it.
she's gonna gas you or hit you with a Molotov cocktail?
or bike lock or something like that.
See,
It's just something. Like that.
Okay.
I don't mind the young teenagers not being super sexualized. I think that's fine.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's
Agreed.
just, I don't know. It's just something.
But they're not. I don't want them also to look like they're like 11. Like if they're going to be teenage superheroes, they don't have to look like vixens, but just females looking like females. Why do all the men look feminine?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, he looks fine. This is a teenage boy.
Well, the other side of it is too. It's like once you start making, okay, fine, they're teens or whatever, but then you got to be all like they're non-binary, they're this, that, and the other. You're calling attention to their sexuality, which is something that shouldn't even really fucking matter.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It should be the last thing we know about them.
Exactly. That's the problem I have, is that they're sexualizing these kids. And they're doing it by giving them these labels that I think are inappropriate for young adult or children's comics.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
But it's only 8 pages, so
late,
who knows?
maybe late young adult, but
Yeah,
definitely
this is.
not your middle grade sort of demographic.
Yeah.
Because even though middle grades tend to read up, and same with YA, young adult, they tend to read up. You sort of have to take that into account. So, I'm just wondering who the actual audience is for this. Is this YA?
They're going YA.
Actually, it's
that's
a
what
mythic
they're going
audience.
for.
It's people that will never buy this comic book.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
they're
Right.
clearly
Okay,
Absolutely.
so
going for
the
YA
age group
audience.
is roughly maybe 11 to 15.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
As
a
in
guess.
how many years it's going to take someone to read it because they just keep throwing it away every time they pick it up.
Nobody's
Yeah.
going to buy this.
Yeah, but that's a specific. I mean, it's an age where that people are learning about sex, but it's just, to me, it's a bit on the nose.
Well, a little too.
Introducing all this, I think it's a bit too soon.
But I think that's
Now,
the point, is to get the kids used to seeing it and used to these pronouns and gender fluid, non-binary combinations.
Again, indoctrinating. So when they get older, that's just the new norm.
Design-wise, this isn't as bad as the New Warriors. You got to give it that.
No, yeah, that's I agree with that.
Well, at least they don't have a
I
fat
think
one.
in terms of concept, it's just as bad.
It's the concept, yeah.
One of my problems is maybe like the facial features. The only time I've ever seen, say, small eyes with like pinprick pupils. Sorry, that's difficult to say. Is with villains, and if you look at the Aqua Girl, I'm like, look at her eyes, and look at Supergirl as well, and they look mean.
They look
as
like
hell.
villains.
It's
they
I
look
think
like
it's too much of a style thing.
Yeah, it might
They're
just
going
be
for like
style,
the Chuck
but,
Jones style, and it's just not working.
But they don't look like heroes.
It's like an anime
they look like
mixed
people
with
beat you up.
Yeah.
What are the Chuck Jones like IPs?
Chuck Jones was originally, he worked on like Looney Tunes and shit like that, but he's more well known for like the Grinch, and he has a specific style. When he took over the Looney Tunes, he gave them kind of a different kind of look, and he just has a style. He did a few animated Christmas specials and stuff like that, like a Cricket in Times Square or something like that it's called. And it's just the type of faces he makes. Like that's like these people have those kind of faces with the
those very
nose,
sharp points.
Yeah, the scrunchy nose, the sharp points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely, that's kind of Grinchish. All right, I got you on that one. And like this is what I'm talking about. She looks like a teenage girl. I can say that's the teenage. Like I don't think she needs to be more than that.
Right.
But when like you have Supergirl, looks like she's 10. Is she supposed to be 10? Like, do I not? I don't know.
We have a saying here in Australia. What is she like? 12?
She could be 14.
She could be 14.
Maybe.
A really obstinate 14.
Yeah, I don't know. Organic diet.
Just looks like a small frame.
She looks very young.
Right. I don't know. Is there anything about the actual, like, what the story will be about, or just them?
I think it's a part of DC's Future State line that's going to be starting next year.
Okay.
It deals with because they're shutting down like the main stuff for like 2 months, and it's going to be like a future with like a lot of just race swapped and gender swapped versions. Like we have a Brazilian Wonder Woman, we have a black Batman, we have a female black female Green Lantern, which you already do have with Far Sector. But yeah, I think that's what it is. Is that it's almost like they're kind of taking what they were planning to do with 5G and just putting it into here. And I feel like it's like a last ditch effort so that like AT&T and AT&T Warner won't like shut them down, because AT&T has been crazy this year for them.
Right. Well, for everybody. This is my problem with it. You know, it looks harmless, but the problem is you're targeting young kids, and really what you're using these pronouns and these terminology, you're just really indoctrinating kids to a woke world. That's what you want. And they think because they're doing it, it's going to teach kids to accept others. And the truth is, you're just labeling others. That's all you're doing. You're putting labels on everything. By telling me you're non-binary, so I'm not either man or woman, well, actually, you think you're not labeling yourself, but what you're doing is you're categorizing yourself as something different. And so now we have all these different categories that we have to follow. And if you screw it up, people get upset. And I'm sick of it.
I'm more of the thinking that I don't even think they know who their target audience is. I'm pretty sure their target audience is who these characters are, essentially. You know, the non-binary types and all that sort of stuff. So it's a very, very, very small audience, and they're banking on that.
But it's also a poor attempt at pandering, because it's only 8 pages.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if they really cared about it, they would
invest
more.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right, Jayne. You're right. Say that one more time. I want to make sure everybody heard that.
I was just saying, if they truly cared about this project, they wanted to direct a comic specifically to this very narrow slice of the population, they can do that. But you would think that they would invest more in the project and give them a full comic series and not just an 8-page adventure, which is what they're describing so far.
Is it a test? Is it to see how people react? You know, I don't know. What is this we're looking at, Tom?
This is some Chuck Jones art to just kind of give you an idea. Like,
that is
it's a
cool
style.
Is that like Teddy Roosevelt?
It's some old comic or something he did, or
it's like Napoleon, Teddy Roosevelt, and somebody else.
D'Artagnan,
like, to the point where his style has been mimicked. Like somebody recently, like one of them I remember was, somebody did the Yoda, Baby Yoda, in the Chuck Jones style, and that everybody thought that was just awesome. But yeah, that's kind of the similar kind of look. It's that cutesy kind of, just overly really exaggerated kind of,
Right. I like it though. I like it
the way they're doing. Yeah, the way they're doing it. Yeah, I don't know. He also worked on like Tom and Jerry and a bunch of other stuff too.
The name is so familiar now. I know.
Oh yeah, Chuck Jones. He's very well known.
Peter Wolf. Peter. Yeah. Okay.
Looks vaguely familiar.
He did One Froggy Evening. He did a lot of the Roadrunner cartoons. But I mean, when you see his humans, that's what they look like. Basically, is what this art style they're doing here.
Gotcha. So we're gonna go over this next article. I'm sorry, I'm rushing it. I'm trying to get this done in about the next 20 minutes. So because I have to be up at 1:30 in the morning. But so I want to go over this one real quick. Because I know Tom, I'm a big 007 fan. I'm pretty sure Tom is. I know your partner over there at Midnight's Edge is a big 007 fan.
I've never seen a Bond movie, believe it or not.
Okay, so it's Rob. Rob's the big fan, right?
But ironically enough, I'm going to be watching and reviewing all the Bond movies coming up here.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
But yeah, this is something that's come out recently, and this kind of goes with some rumors we had heard before. And yeah, I'm sure Rob's going to flip a lid when he sees this.
Oh, I can't wait to hear his response on this one, man. But
you want to preview? It'll go like with
the internet crackling and breaking up.
Something like that.
That was perfect. You guys, we talked about it on one of the Midnight's Edge After Dark streams I was on with you guys, and you did. I mean, this was months and months and months ago. You guys said it. You nailed it. You said that she was going to replace him, Daniel Craig, as the new Bond, and they denied it.
It's not the new Bond. It's just the 007 serial number.
Okay, so but 007 is, well, in a way, yes, but 007 for us is inherently Bond.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I understand in the world, 007 is the agent.
It's the license that they give to James Bond. Yeah.
The license to kill.
Because we've had different 002s, 3s, 4s, 6s, and 8s in the series.
And this isn't even the first Lady 00, and not only that, first Black Lady 00, because Halle Berry was one, right, originally script?
I can't remember. I don't remember much about Jinx.
Oh, she was CIA. Okay.
She was CIA. Technically, if you want to go with the Woody Allen Casino Royale film, there's lots of different women 007s in there. They're also codenamed James Bond. And they were badass too.
They were. They definitely were. I love James Bond. It's a family thing. My brother, our dad used to watch him with us, and now my brother takes my nephew to all the new films, and now he's like 21, and they share that experience together. Once again, a father to son type thing, and I understand, oh my God, what about the girls? I would have started showing them to my daughters when they're old enough. It's about a franchise that focused on a suave spy that got into crazy, situations and found some way to use a gadget or his smarts to get out of it. And they're taking that away from us now. They're going to take away Bond.
From what I understand, by the end of the movie, it's supposed to switch back, right?
I would imagine so.
I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts that
film.
Craig's is going to fucking die in this one.
I feel he's going to die too. Nick, what? I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, that's okay. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that this is going to be Daniel Craig's last Bond film. Like, he's had enough.
Right,
so
and I get that.
Opportune, I suppose.
But the problem is that, Nick,
sorry.
I agree with you. No, don't be sorry. Don't say sorry, man. We cut each other off all the time. It is going to be his last film, but I agree with Tom. They're going to kill the character off. Now, don't get me wrong. Dead characters can always come back, but killing off Bond in a Bond series is ridiculous. And then keep going on with different characters now being Bond. First a black female, next a transgendered Asian guy, next, like, just changing it as you go on. Bond is always an English man, and I don't care if he's black or white, but it's an English man.
James Bond isn't Doctor Who.
I think they should have given her. I personally like the idea of a father-daughter, trainer-trainee type relationship for Bond, and I wouldn't mind them spinning her off into her own series of films or whatever. But I do agree that the mantle of this particular character should pass the same as it always has. Just have her be something else. I don't know why they had to replace the existing character.
Right. Like, it's almost like Harry Potter, the next book isn't about Harry Potter at all. It's someone took the role as the chosen one, and it's Hermione's daughter. You know what I mean? Like, but they still call it Harry Potter. Like, it's not Harry
they don't
Potter.
really call the James Bond movies James Bond movies.
There.
They're all individually titled. They just happen to be part of a franchise. It's not like Bond, No Time to Die. The movie's just called No Time to Die. The LLC is called No Time to Die.
Together. What is the fabric that's woven through all of these movies? Script.
The fact that they're produced by the same company, pretty much.
Come on.
Like,
what
is the fact that they're produced by the same company?
I'm not going legally. I'm going artistically. What has been
the through line? The through line is Bond.
Well, it's Ian Fleming's James Bond in this. That's how it's usually.
Okay. All right. So, if we want to be technical, yes.
Yeah.
So then,
but I think you don't think that in this universe, though, they could have just had her spin off films under the same label, since it's the same world.
Right.
To me, that would have been smart.
I mean, well, actually, there might be some real rights issues, ramifications to that, because the Broccoli's own the rights to the Ian Fleming novels and the characters for film production. If they were to spin something off on their own, they would have to re-register that trademark, and then they'd have to start doing a whole bunch of legal loopholes in order to keep it secured within their universe. And the other part, too, is that if someone, say, decides to do something similar to that and there's contention, it forces the Broccolis to do the one thing they've been trying to avoid for the last 50 years, which is defining what James Bond is as an artistic property. Because once they get into the courts and define it, then any studio can just say, okay, these are the definitions, and if we cross into this line, we can't do our own spy movies, so we'll just check those off and then we'll do something completely else. There was an issue about this when the first Jason Bourne movie with Matt Damon was being put into production, where someone from the Broccoli camp was about to file an injunction against them for doing that. And they immediately pulled that back, because then they realized, oh crap, if we defined what James Bond is, like, legally, we can't expand the franchise to other things, because we have to then contain ourselves into that area. And on top of that, if we tell another production that they can't do it, and we give them rules as what they can't do, they'll just come up with something new and fresh that we now can't adopt, because it'd be outside of the rules of our franchise, and we'd end up having another contention back and forth. It's really, really complicated stuff. But needless to say, the Broccoli camp does not want to legally define what James Bond is as a spy movie. They just want to keep it as vague and arbitrary as possible so that they can do future stories for like as long as they can.
Thank you for telling me that, Script, because I've always wondered why. I knew they put out they were talking about legal ramifications if they went ahead with Jason Bourne, and then it just disappeared. And I always wondered why. I never looked into it more. So that's the reasoning.
That's part of it. It's kind of like the same thing where, like the comic book heroes of current times, like Batman is clearly defined, right? So if you try to do like a Batman thing, you can only do it through parody. Right. But if you try to do another dark superhero with a Bat motif and you try to make it serious and whatnot, it's going to cross into too much familiar territory to Batman. It's going to have cause with like a conflict of interest or confusing of license. And then, you know, obviously the one that's impinging on that is going to be shut down.
Right. So Bat Tom is okay.
Bat Tom is, of course, okay. It's clearly a parody.
Okay.
Jayne has to go.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that. Sorry, Jayne. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Y'all have a good stream.
All right. Let them know where they can find you, Jayne.
Oh, yeah. You can find me here on YouTube, where I post weekly movie and television reviews every Sunday at 6 Central, as well as some occasional pop culture news and commentary. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jayne Theory. Good night.
Thanks, Jayne. Have a great night.
Good night,
Take
Jayne.
care.
Take care, Jayne.
Night.
Thank you for keeping a heads up on that, Nick. I appreciate it. Nick, I just put a different article in the chat. I just want to go over this one real quick, the next article, the Rise of Skywalker Mandalorian one. If you could share that, I'd appreciate it. I really don't care to read this article. I just wanted to bring it up and get your guys' ideas on that one, because we all know that was the plan. I knew Tom being on here is why I wanted to share it, because Tom said it so many months ago. Like I want to say that was like February or January. You guys talked about it.
Which one? The Mandalorian thing?
No. I'm talking about the Bond one.
Oh, the Bond thing. Yeah. And we did the Mandalorian thing back in July. Yeah.
Yes. So this is, I mean, you guys are always ahead of it, but you know what? You guys are always, I
Not
speculating
always,
they don't have sources and yeah. All right. So Nick, do you mind reading this a little bit?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, so the Mandalorian animation director Hal Hickel implies the show is undoing the rise of Skywalker. Well, okay. So the Mandalorian animation director Hal Hickman recently implied that the premiere episode of The Mandalorian Season 2 is undoing the rise of Skywalker. Oops, sorry. During The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1, The Marshal, an astute fan discovered that during the flashback scene showing the destruction of the second Death Star, the text around the exploding Death Star reads, "Little does Luke know that the Galactic Empire has secretly begun construction on a new armored space station even more powerful than the first dreaded Death Star."
Right, so it's the scroll from Return of the Jedi.
And
one of the
paragraphs, little
yeah.
picture here.
In the Arabish text.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
it's
so
Arabish?
there's the picture.
Yeah, that's the characters for Star Wars language.
Okay. Dork. No, just kidding.
Yep,
I just
and
didn't know that. Thank you for telling me
There's
that.
the title.
All right. Yep.
Yep, so the fan would then inquire as to why and how the text was used to both Lucasfilm creative art manager Phil Szak
Yeah.
and Lucasfilm story group member Matt Martin. Yeah, so I'm curious to know how/why this text was used. Szak would respond, "That's undoubtedly an ILM VFX element, so I'm sure the text is just there as a fun Easter egg." He then asked Hal Hickel to comment.
That's what I just assumed when I first heard it.
Yep, so Hickel seemingly confirms Szak's claims with a simple "yep." And another fan would then ask, who filmed the Death Star blowing up? And how come there's no debris left, but there's some debris left over in Rise of Skywalker? Hickel then responded,
Yeah, can I just really quickly say that? This has been my argument. When the second Death Star blew up, that son of a gun blew the frig up.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was dust.
It was dust. There wasn't a chunk that big. I am sorry. I know we were kind of far away and it's space, so maybe it looked smaller than we thought. That son of a gun blew up. It blew up.
It blew up.
And if it blew up, right, Script?
It blew up. I would say any of the like the glowing sparks that flew out of that could have been pieces of space debris superheated, but I doubt they'd survive any re-entry.
No,
not that big.
No,
well, I mean, given the size of it, they were probably huge, but like by the time they hit a planet's atmosphere, they would break down to almost nothing. They'd burn up. They'd be wreckage, nowhere near significant of what we ever saw in The Rise of Skywalker.
Let's just say there wouldn't be a throne room.
Yeah, exactly. There definitely. I don't believe for a second there'd be a throne room, let alone functioning doors and elevators in that.
Automatic doors. Automatic doors, that is.
Yeah.
All right, read on, my friend.
Yep, so Hickle then responded, "Don't know who filmed it. As for the second question, it looks that way because we were matching Jedi." Yep, so...
Well, most likely Akbar's ship filmed it. I mean, they had sensors, they had scanners, they had detectors. They knew the shields were still up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but would that be something the kind of thing you would spread around to the public? Well, I suppose you would.
Well, if you blew it up and the rebels won a skirmish, I think they'd probably share that on some sort of galactic network.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
Didn't they celebrate it on all
Word
the
would
other
spread
planets?
real quick about that.
Okay, so
didn't in the newer versions of Return of the Jedi where George added, his touches
he added Coruscant,
like
Bespin.
Yeah.
He added a whole bunch.
Naboo.
Yeah, he added people celebrating the destruction of the Death Star.
So it was known.
Yeah.
Yep, so if indeed they are matching the Return of the Jedi, then that would imply that the second Death Star was completely destroyed in space and there were no parts left to crash on Kef Bir in The Rise of Skywalker.
That was the name of the planet, huh? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Twitter user Stephen Wayne Art would point this out, writing, "You were matching Return of the Jedi, but you contradicted The Rise of Skywalker. Was that intentional?"
Stephen Wayne Art, huh? Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
Hickle has so far not commented further, but the implication appears to be clear. While the implication that The Mandalorian might be undoing the events of The Rise of Skywalker is welcome news, the actual inclusion of the opening crawl of Return of the Jedi and the video footage of the Death Star being blown up provides its own problems. First off, the inclusion of the opening crawl doesn't make sense from a story point because the opening crawl is for the audience. It is not for the characters in the actual story. However, the news story is there for the people of the pub in Mos Pelgo to read and see. They are now reading the opening crawl. Second, the crawl makes no sense in the actual news report of the second Death Star being blown up because it's actually depicting the second Death Star being blown up. Why would this news footage be informing galactic citizens about the construction of the second Death Star while showing footage of it being blown up? It doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah.
I think someone's being finicky there.
Yeah,
Well,
they
that
are,
is
but
the case,
it is valid. It is valid.
It is a valid one because someone in post-production decided to copy and paste text from a Star Wars movie into this new font instead of maybe writing report, because this is technically called the Chiron, right? So it's a scrolling text around news footage. So you just basically say, the Rebel Alliance forces have destroyed the second Death Star. Emperor Palpatine rumored to be on board during its destruction. Like that's what you'd write, and then you just put that in scrolling. But instead, they decided to copy and paste that thing. It's something I've seen pop up on other television shows and films where their visual effects guys are on a deadline, so they go really lazy. They either hit a Wikipedia or they pull from anything from the script and copy and paste over and import, and just to get the look and appearance there. Sometimes they're deliberately done as Easter eggs. Other times they're done as just trying to meet a deadline, and they just need content.
I don't know if any of you guys are aware, but I'm sure we've all heard of the YouTuber Jay Longbone.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes.
Oh, she's awesome. Anyway, she did the whole first season of Batwoman, so sort of ripping it apart and everything. And towards the later end of the season, there's actually this book, and it's all coded and everything. And one of the characters has to wear these special glasses that translates it all. And keeping in mind the laziness of certain creators behind the scenes, if you actually look closely at the text that's translated through the glasses, it's a copy-paste of a Wikipedia page.
Well, they did that in Lower Decks too. The episode where Mariner's writing the script in the holodeck program, it's literally lines from the script that is being filmed that's being used in the actual holodeck program. Even the part where she's talking about like what Mariner's supposed to say later on to her mom when she's on the catwalk. Like it's all there. They just copy and paste. It's just it's lazy stuff. They shouldn't be doing that stuff. The fun, more entertaining Easter eggs are original.
Huh. How much more of this article do we have?
I don't think there's much more. I think we're halfway
And into theories, okay.
Yeah, right.
See, the question of who recorded the footage, I'm like, there's tons of Rebel ships there. They all have scanning equipment. I don't see that as a far leap.
I do have to check out, guys, but we do have a video on this coming up, so do stay tuned for that as well.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
All right, well, thanks for having me, Scott, and it's always fun hanging out with you guys. So
seriously, man, thank you so much. I'm sorry I don't have more energy tonight, but I appreciate it, buddy.
That's all right. I got to get going. I got a prior engagement, but it was always fun to hang out with you guys. So take care.
All right, Tom. Thank you, pal.
Take care, Tom.
Bye, Tom.
Bye.
All right, let's finish this bad boy off.
Yep. So finally, who was actually recording the footage of the Death Star being blown up? Was the Emperor? It's possible the footage could have been created by some kind of Empire film crew hoping to capture the destruction of the Rebel Alliance. Well, that's the thought. However, that theory doesn't really make sense given the footage was being broadcast in a celebratory manner in the flashback scene from The Mandalorian. It's hard to imagine an Empire crew using this footage to promote a major Rebel victory. Another possible theory is that it's footage from the Rebel Alliance, which we've been just saying. However, that theory runs into its own problems. How are they able to broadcast that message when the Empire is still in control over most of the galaxy through their regional governors?
It's probably some sort of galactic Twitter.
Yeah.
There's always a way.
I don't understand. It's been 9 years? Has it been 9 years after this, or is this 5 years after the battle?
Well, the Mandalorian, I think, takes place around 5 years after. And the flashback is supposed to take place the same day as the Death Star's destroyed. So, yeah, the thing is, like, one of the weird parts with regards to the ending of The Return of the Jedi is because Lucas did intend that to be the last film. So he just wanted to wrap everything up and be done with it and be like, yeah, the Death Star's blown up and the Empire kind of retreats and all is free in the world. And what ends up happening is you got a guy like David Filoni, who's not really that astute of a guy, but he's a good special effects dude. He's a good animator. He's got some decent ideas, but he takes things a little bit too literal. And I think that's where the case here. He's like, yeah, we're just going to keep that literal. We're not going to explore the concept of like a power struggle with a vacuum like Timothy Zahn did in his like famous trilogy, that book trilogy that he wrote afterwards. He's like, nope, it's all done. It's all there. There's only fragments of them, of the Empire scattered about. He's working under the hypothesis that the majority of the Imperial fleet was around the second Death Star protecting it, which I think is ridiculous. I just thought it's like, that's stupid. But yeah, like that's apparently what it is. It's and that's how he's committing to it. And it's like, no, there's so many possibilities. Like, heck, I've written my spec script. I'm just waiting for Disney's doors to open up so I can send them off and be like, yo, this is my story explaining the struggle between the New Republic and the Empire. Like, let's hit the ground running and get to work. But they'll never accept it. I'm definitely not of the camp they like to hire. But who knows how things will change in the year.
You never know, my friend. You never know.
Always gonna try. It's not always a fun idea to pitch someone else their own IP, but like, you know.
Right.
I'm pitching my own original stuff. I might as well throw this in the pocket too.
I you know what though? Is it their own IP really? I mean, do they treat it like it's their own IP? I guess they do, but do they treat it like respectfully? It's their own IP. You only abuse something you own. Yeah, I guess so. Oh man, is there anything else with this one?
I think it's just these last 2 paragraphs actually.
All right, let's go for it.
Yep, so a third theory could even be that it's just some kind of independent film crew that discovered the Battle of Endor was going to happen and decided to film part of it. But this theory still runs into the problem of how the footage gets broadcast throughout the galaxy, especially to a remote planet in the Outer Rim like Tatooine. What do you guys make of Hickle's comments? What do you make of the inclusion of the Return of the Jedi's opening crawl on a news program about the Death Star's destruction?
So this is what I think. I think they didn't think. And that is Disney, Star Wars, in a little picture right there. They don't think about what effect their story will have on the rest of the canon because they don't believe in canon. They just believe what they write is canon. So that's how I feel about it. They just don't care. They don't. I don't care if it's Dave Filoni or even, everyone's treating Jon Favreau like he's, the next coming of George. Well, I think he has a fondness and respect for Star Wars, but it's still owned by Disney. Mm-hmm. And they will do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Real quick, before you say what you're going to say, Nick, thank you, Miss Martin Muses, for the 99-cent super chat. I bet it's a rose. Thank you so much. I really appreciate anytime someone super chats or sends a sticker or is a member. It really does, guys. I don't know if I say it enough. It means the world to me. Thank you guys for supporting this channel. YouTube has done its best not to help me grow since I hit 1,200. I have not gained a sub in over 4 months. So I really appreciate you guys that have stuck around and enjoy being in our chat and hanging out with us. Even when I'm half asleep. So thank you guys so much. What were you going to say, Nick?
Yeah, I have heard in writing and everything that there is such thing as erring on the side of awesome, right? As a rule in storytelling and whatnot. But I'm of the thinking that it shouldn't come at the expense of lore.
Well, it depends if lore is actually a factor in the story, right?
Yeah, I'm sure with Star Wars, lore is definitely a factor. So, yeah.
Lore is why it's loved.
Lore is why it's loved, but lore is also basically majority of it was tossed out the window once George Lucas started Episode 1. So, it is what it is. It's a mutating beast, unfortunately. It's not as solid of a foundation as we'd all like it to be.
Unlike George Martin. George Martin has, granted, there's a lot unsaid and unknown, but George Martin has created a foundation of history that you can actually research and find out the flaws in, and he meant to put it there. You know what I mean? George kind of, like you just said before, script, he thought he was doing 3 movies and that was going to be it. And then, he decided, what the hell, I'm going to do the prequels. And I don't think George, this is his IP. He loves Star Wars. It's his baby. But I don't think he thinks about it as much as we do. He thinks about the story, not like the world it's created in.
Because he saw himself get into a lot of trouble during production of Phantom Menace when he realized that, hey, everything is so heavily interlinked together that he can't cut, trim, and reshape the movie in the editing room because it would just be too confusing. So that basically what ended up happening is that Lucas was learning the long and difficult way within his own company that no one's going to challenge him on his ideas. And he needed someone like Gary Kurtz. And Gary Kurtz was not around at that point anymore. He had left just before Return of the Jedi, actually.
Right.
And because he didn't have that guy that could say, hey, man, I know this is the idea you love, but this is not the idea you're in love with. That's the type of thing. And that's what they would get into arguments over this. But in the end, Lucas would kind of realize, oh, yeah, he's kind of right. And because you see the success with Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi to a lesser extent, but it's still a Star Wars film. It still very much fits in line with the previous 2 entries. But once you get to Episode 1, you've got all this weird infrastructure on the Jedi side of things. Instead of the Jedi being like an independent group that is in, because Obi-Wan says that the Jedi were guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic, not for the Old Republic, or not of the Old Republic. Those are there's very reason of that, like that they're just independents. They subscribe to the Force, right? That's their authority. That's their hierarchy. The fact that the Old Republic exists is immaterial to them. They're just trying to keep peace and justice, and those things they consider outside of like whatever rules.
They're not doing jobs for the Republic.
Exactly. They don't work for the Republic, and they're not governed or in control of the Republic, but they find value to it. They think it's a useful thing, and they travel the galaxy as the Force dictates, and they solve problems. That's what the concept of the Jedi were during the original trilogy and during some of the earlier books, before things kind of got into, they're an institutionalized religion. They're all over the place. There's thousands upon thousands of them. Everybody knows what the Jedi are, even if like only a couple of the Outer Rim planets never really see them. And so you're like, well, how does that line up with the whole, I've never heard the Jedi with Han Solo, a guy who would have been like a kid or a teenager when they still existed, not believing in them. Like you gotta work in a proper connective tissue to understand the context. Like even at Grand Moff Tarkin, when he's like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, surely he's dead by now. That's assuming that Obi-Wan's like ancient. But we learned from the prequels, no, he's only like 10 years older than Anakin.
Right.
And for a guy like Grand Moff Tarkin to be like, he's only 10 years, he's younger than, like Moff Tarkin's clearly older than Obi-Wan. He's like, yeah, I think that he's dead by now. Like I'm an ancient fossil compared to him. Like it just doesn't, it's all lots of confusing, a lot of weird questions that are raised. And it's all because there wasn't anyone in that room to say, hey, George, maybe you want to give another pass at this. Maybe want to ask, like, what about Tarkin? What about Obi-Wan? Why is he so young when he's considered an ancient old man, possibly dead by the time of Luke? And it's like, you gotta figure these things out.
This is the reason why.
And again, real quick. Oh, go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is the reason why I'm a big plotter when it comes to my own writing. Yeah, I like to have everything sort of worked out before I start. You know, who my characters are, how old they are, where they are, when they are, etc.
Well, that's all character.
Well, their
work
history.
Too.
Yeah.
Yes, character building. Like you want to know their history so you know how when you get
how
to a
it ties
point
into everything.
Exactly.
Well, the history dictates the behavior of the character, right? So you don't want to write a movie that's about their history. You want to have that history dictate how the character behaves. And from those actions, we as an audience would come to understand their history. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi in the first Star Wars film, you watch that under the guise that with this premise, okay? So watch the original Star Wars and think when Obi-Wan was a young man, he probably acted and behaved just like Han Solo. And when you watch it with that guise on and you see the wisdom and you see the banter between them and the relationship, you kind of understand that Obi-Wan being a guy who taught Darth Vader and then paid the price for it by having the galaxy be thrown into turmoil, that is exactly what Han Solo kind of is if he stays on his track. And
he sees himself in him.
It is exactly why he rolls his eyes when Han makes his pitch about the Millennium Falcon, and why he always has a quick, witty response when Han makes like his own little thing. And it just shows that there's definitely more depth to Obi-Wan. He used to be kind of like a cowboy when it comes to Jedi. And now he's this kind of like restrained, more disciplined, older, wiser man. And he's training Luke in the ways of the Force, and he's not repeating the mistakes he possibly made with Anakin.
Absolutely.
But if he were still like a Han Solo type of thing, you can totally believe that, I'm a shoot from the hip type of guy. I'm the one that cares a bit more about myself, and I'm confident in what I'm doing, and I don't have any doubts. And when you're teaching someone, when you don't have any doubts and you don't make questions but give orders, you can risk turning your student into someone who hates and resents you. And we actually see that play out in the following movie, and that, which is also a happy accident. But it's also, but in the context of Star Wars, it's like, I taught Darth Vader, I screwed up, and now he hates me and he's taken over the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just how you have to look at him.
But like now, what they do in the prequels is, and they play it off as that it was just that he was too young to be his master, and he didn't want to see the change in Anakin. I don't know. I see what you're saying. He was the cowboy. He should have been. What was I just about to say? I'm sorry. I'm so tired. I can't think of what I was going to say.
That's all right.
But it was going along. Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think like you should have been like the cowboy. You didn't need Qui-Gon Jinn, even though I liked Liam Neeson a lot. You just make him this cocky guy who's like, listen, I'm this savant Jedi. I'm really good at what I do. I'm young. I'm wise. Everybody respects me. I'm trained by one of the best Jedi masters in the world, or in the galaxy. I could train this kid, Anakin, no problem.
Yeah,
I know what to do.
Yeah,
and it's his arrogance that hurts him. And with Han Solo's journey, it's his own arrogance and his selfishness that hurts him until he realizes that, hey, I've made some friends here, and I'm going to go back and save them. And he learns a lesson that Obi-Wan learned too late.
Wow. That dude, I can't wait to see one of your movies. I can't wait. All right, I have to wrap it up, guys. I have to be up in a few hours. To my chat, I love you guys for sticking around. I'm sorry if I didn't have a lot of energy. I apologize. This road trip is almost over, but 7 days a week, 12 hours a day has really been catching up with me. That's why we're not doing Saturday streams right now. But I'll keep doing my Mondays and Wednesdays so you don't forget me. But let's do our outros. Nick, thank you for being here, my friend. Where can they find you, and if you're working on anything?
Yep, I'm Nick McCabe. You can find me on YouTube under this name right below my face here. And don't forget to look for this face, because apparently there are lots of Nick McCabes out there. And
there are.
There are. You can also find me on Twitter at Mr. Mooney Blue 1, written like that. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, go for it. And yeah, if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, that'd be great as well. What I've got in the works at the moment is I'm not sure if anyone knows about this, but there's a big community of writers on YouTube as well. We call them booktubers. Anyway, they've got these things called book tags, and that's what I will be doing for my next video. I've nearly completed it, and yeah, it'll just it's the Harry Potter spell book tag. So yeah, that'll be fun, and you'll get to know a little bit about what I'm interested in and everything.
Cool. I would like to see that. Definitely tweet that out so I know.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of fun.
And, tag me in your tweet so I make sure to retweet that, because I'd want to definitely see that. That's cool.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Script, my brother, let them know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me here when my schedule works out, talking the news dump with you boys, and on Twitter at ScriptDoctorPhD. I am going to go back to working on my Star Trek Discovery review and hopefully not kill myself, because it's a painful. I finished the script after like going over it for a couple of days just because I wanted to make sure I wasn't talking out of my ass. And also I kept falling asleep during the episode because it's like, oh man, all the twists and turns are happening 20 minutes towards the end. What the hell? Give me a mid-act break or something. Never mind, I'm going crazy. But yeah, you can look out for that video, dropping maybe tomorrow or the day after. I don't know. I really don't know. It's something else. But I am still going to be continuing to cover The Mandalorian, so you can check out that as well. And yeah.
Thank you, man. And Subhuman84 just says, you're getting old, Scott. Thanks, buddy.
Very encouraging.
This road trip's kicking my ass, but I am lucky to be working right now in the times we live in, so I can't complain. I just want to make excuses. That's all. Makini 90. God, I can't stop saying Makini. Makini 90. Let them know what you are. Oh, you already kind of did, but tell us again what you're working on. What's out there.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Name's Makini 90. We thank you for stopping by with us to join us with the dump this evening. You can find me on YouTube, where I do weekly time-lapse videos and draw streams every Wednesday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. And you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram, where I post daily art stuff and updates. But here's what I have got going on the docket for me. Let me make sure I got the currency. Okay, so tomorrow I have a new time-lapse dropping in the afternoon. It's of this one I just finished this morning of Amber for the game Genshin Impact. And during the stream, I started on I'm going to start on another time lapse I just kind of sketched out while I was listening to you guys. This little crossover stream, something a little fun, and I'm hoping to see if I can try to get that before the end of the week. So see if I can get 2 videos up for the end of this week. You know?
All right.
On top of that, thank you. On top of that, I've been saying it over and over. I even put a teaser on Monday. So on Sunday, November 8th, is the premiere of Machiny Live Season 2. I'm going back live with Bruce Lombardo, Mads Mama Bear. So it's going to be a whole new season of draw streams and whole new possibilities and everything. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get back. So.
Well, I'm glad you're doing it, man. You're an awesome artist. So I'm glad you are in the 4th wave and someone I can call a friend.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, my friend. All right, everybody. Thank you for showing up tonight. Again, I'll try to put a little more energy into the next stream, which will be Monday night, Song of Ice and Fire. Still have no clue what topic I'm going to be doing, so I'll let you know during the week. Please subscribe to all the panelists that were here tonight. Thank you to Tom. Thank you to Jayne. And let's what was I going to say? Oh yeah, put a spork in it. Yes, that's it. We are done. Good night, everybody.